Hello crafty friends. Today I'm going to do something just slightly different. I'm going to do two Claire made me do it moments all at once. Anybody who doesn't know who Claire is, Claire's Crafty Corner, big inspiration to me and amazing lady. Go check out her channel. Details will be below. Now the inspiration are tapes from the washi tape shop. Now these are very beautiful washi tapes. These are the ones they call PET tapes, I believe. PET, I don't quite know whether you say it, which way you say it, but this is a fabulous tape. So let me just show you. I've just got one because that's all I can afford this side of payday. So let's open him up and have a look, because the other thing I'll be testing out is the cutter that Claire uses, because like Claire, while we were at the NEC at Maker Central, I bought one of these gyro cut things. So I'm going to give it a try and see how I get on with it too. But I've also found some alternatives. They're just like pens that cut, and they were cheap, so I thought we'd give those a go as well. Right, there is this washi tape. Now basically it's a tape made of a load of stickers, as I understand it. It's the first time I've tried this. Oh, there's the join. This is my very first order from the washi tape shop. Oh my goodness, I can see why Claire is obsessed with these. So I just picked this one, thinking I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use most, but that colour scheme I just thought was rather dramatic. So she's been showing as well how to cut these to use them, because they are peelable apparently. But seems to be a bit of a faff to get the backs off. So anyway, I've seen how Claire's been doing it, and as many people have suggested to her, using a sticky mat. This is the one that goes with my Cricut machine. So let's have a quick look at her two cutting tools. As I said, this is the gyro cut, and the way it works is it's got a little blade that spins round as you cut. So there's that. Let's put that there so you can remember where this came from. By the way, I've got a discount code for the washi tape shop, so if anybody wants anything, the discount codes for everything that I've got codes for are down below. Now this is an even tinier, oh god, you can't even see it, can you? Is that focusing? An even tinier blade. So I thought we'd try both of those, because this is, I won't say expensive, it wasn't, but this is obviously a proper substantial fancy product, whereas this is a cheap plasticky thing from somewhere. So I thought we'd have a go and see what they're like. And I don't know what I'm actually going to put these onto yet. Chances are coasters. But look, aren't they just, they're absolutely breathtaking, aren't they? Anyway, how to do this. So we've got two product tests going on here, and something else to blame Claire for having spent money on. Don't think I can blame her for the gyro cut, by the way. I think I'd actually bought mine by the time I bumped into Claire. She says, oh, I got one too, if I remember rightly. Can you remember, Claire? Anyway, we both ended up with one. I am going to cut off a section of this, I think, because that might be easier. I'm going to try, what should we try first? Let's try this fiddly little leaf. Yeah, that is easy. Okay. Subject to this actually peeling out okay afterwards. I think we can say I'll be totally agreeing with Claire that this is absolutely awesome. Oh, it's weird. The blade just rotates as you go. Don't know if you can see it doing that. I might need to film this from the side. I'm holding it kind of funny, so trying to keep my hand out the way. I prefer to, let me just see what you're seeing. I don't know if you're really seeing this. I'll move the camera before I do the next one. Oops. So I don't think you're really seeing what this is doing. Sticker off separately is the question. Yes, it does, and it leaves the back behind. That's really good. Okay, Now, bear with me, I'm just going to do some jiggery pokery with my camera and see if I can get it where you can get a better view of what's actually happening with that clever blade. Okay, let's just cut this little tiny one out in the corner here. I think you're meant to hold it like this somehow. I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to hold it like this. Can you see the blade moving around? That's amazing. And we know how annoying fussy cutting can be. I mean, that is just incredible. I thought it'd be clunkier to use than that. That's really easy. Right, let's try this one. Now this blade doesn't rotate, but you can see hopefully how tiny it is, so maybe it doesn't need to. Let's try it on this little round flower first. I like the idea that you could just use it like a pen, to be honest. I like things that I can just hold like a pen. So I think I'd prefer that gyro blade if it was more just pen shaped without the dog leg, but I'm sure there's a reason for that, but I don't know what. I really want to cut out this big one in the middle. I think I'm going to keep this simple and we'll go for a coaster, but I'm thinking one of my crystal edge coasters, because I am so completely addicted to that big crystal edge coaster. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is this works. It does work, and it's a very cheap pet thing. It's great, but because of the way this swivels, yeah, this is easier. This is easier. The other pen does work. It's fine, and for a cheap thing, that's pretty good. I think I went off a bit off at a tangent there. I think it's going to take some practice, but it is definitely, without a doubt, easier than the pen-shaped cheapy one. The trouble is, it's the way I'm holding it, I'm sure. This keeps, to try a different way of holding it. That's better, that's better. Oh, look how easy that is. So with a bit of practice, I think I could get a lot closer into the design. Let's see if we can cut a little piece out here. Bet we can. Right, so yes, it works. Bargain, why not? And for some things that might be absolutely perfect. Things that you don't need the blade to swizzle for. But when you're doing really sort of detailed shapes like these, get yourself one of these gyro cuts. I'll put you some links below. Right, let's carry on then. I'll get some resin ready and we'll do something. So this is the mould I'll be using. You'll have seen it in lots of my videos. I'm getting a bit... I'm trying not to use the word obsessed because that's Claire's word. But yes, okay, so I'm obsessed with this mould. And it seems a lot of people are. The link to buy it is below. I don't make these. This is from a supplier on Etsy who seems to be a very good, reliable supplier. I believe they're handmade though, so you have to bear with them a little bit because they do go out of stock every so often. I am going to be developing my own one though. I'm going to try for one that hasn't got quite so many sharp edges because I do find that slight worrying, but it's such a gorgeous mould. We're going to be playing with that again. Now, resin. Let me introduce you to the resin we'll be using. It will be the Apex Resin. There we go, the high gloss resin from, and it's from Just For You online. Again, I've got a link down below for the discount codes for this as well. So I'll get this mixed up and I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, stirring away, I've got my colours together. We're going to go with some sage green because that's kind of like an autumn green, you know, as the leaves are starting to lose their brightness. White shimmer because I want a bit of pearl in it. Cookies and cream, which is a nice sort of pale creamy colour. A very pale coffee colour really, because I think that'll be a nice base colour. And then I've been wondering what would happen if I brushed some of the floating powder around that crystal edge, so we'll have some of that. Yeah, I'm making it up as I go along again, folks. Anyway, we seem to have our resin ready. There's a bit of something in there and it's really annoying me, I can't catch it. Maybe I'll catch it when it goes into the mould. No, got it. Hey, there we are. As you can see, as usual, I stir a bit too quick, so I've got some bubbles in here, but not much. This resin is beautiful. Don't worry about a few fine bubbles in there. I mean, stir it as slowly as you can to avoid them, obviously. Not like I do. But it's not the end of the world if you get a few, because it will just degas on its own. God, I really can't be the only messy crafter in the world. Anyway, I'm going to split this then up into several different pots, because we are going to need these, obviously, all these different colours. Just want to say a big thanks again to Just For You Online. They're supplying the resin for today's project and the colours, which is awesome. And a thanks to the washi shop. I mean, I know I bought these. These haven't been sent to me or anything, but they are absolutely beautiful, and I really did want to test them. So I wanted to say thank you to them for giving me the discount code to share with you all as well, which is great, isn't it? My tip with pigment pastes, as with any resin colour really, is to add a little bit and see what it looks like, and then add a bit more if you need to. They are very, very heavily pigmented, and the thing I'm finding is some colours more so than others. The black and the white particularly are incredibly strong pigmented. So, and you can always add, but you can't take away, can you? So, yeah. So start with a little bit. I suppose it's the same with any colourants that you put into your resin. Start with a little bit and see how you get on. Don't forget that if you're using a liquid pigment, which of course a paste is, you can only go up to 10% of your actual mix that you end up with being the pigment, because otherwise it's going to inhibit the curing of the resin. Now if you're using a powder, then you can put as much as you like. It's just the liquid ones. But this is the beauty of pigments, because they're pigment pastes rather, because they're so strongly pigmented, you don't need to use much, therefore you're not going to run into too many problems with that 10% limit. That's my theory anyway. Right, let's pop these out of the way for a moment. Bring my mould back in. As you can see, I've been doing some glitter stuff with this and I need to clean it, but that's not going to affect the area that we're working with. So I'm just going to carry on, and I'm going to get myself a nice little brush. Actually, you know what, I'm going to get a big fat brush, because I think I might want this to dust inwards as well. So let's make sure my brush hasn't got too much of anything else on it. It's cleaner than it looks, as you can see. There's just a little bit coming off it, and that's the easiest way I find to get mica off a brush. Just rub it onto your silicone mat or an old mould or something. Now here's this powder. This is this floating one that Just For You Online do. I'm ending up with it everywhere. Because I want to be careful where I put it really, I'm going to tap my brush off, and I'm just going to go into it like this. I don't necessarily want it to be all over. Actually, I am managing to keep it quite well to just the edge. So I'm tapping it in. I don't necessarily need it to go into every single nook and cranny. I think if there's gaps in it rather than being thorough, does that make sense? I'm just kind of dabbing it, sort of brushing it here and there. Be interesting to see what this looks like, because it's some of it will float to the top, I know, because it is a floating one. It's very, very light. Don't forget, even if you're not using resin, it's wise to wear a mask when you're using stuff like this, like powders, if you're using them for something that doesn't involve resin, because they float around in the air and you don't want it in your lungs. Basically, that's what it is. Probably for something like this, just a normal, you know, a good quality dust mask would do, because it is a powder. In themselves, not toxic. It's just you don't want stuff in your lungs that you shouldn't have. That's all. So right now I'm just on an ordinary dust mask. Stolen from my other half's toolbox. the ones he uses when he's sanding wood down and things like that. So what do you think, folks? How does that look? I like with this mould that some of the little bits of the crystal actually go in at the top into the mould, into the, into your surface shape. Can you see some little bits here? Look. Now I'm not worrying too much if some of the gold gets onto the actual base of the mould. Let's have a little clean up. Black glitter everywhere from the previous little experiment, which didn't go terribly well. I'll probably show you anyway. It did. I ended up with a pretty result as usual, but wasn't what I expected at all. Tracy strikes again. Right, let's pop this out of the way. Now that gold was called spiced gold, so it's kind of almost a little bit antique-y, you could say. Now probably I'm going to get just a little bit of this off with my wipe because it has gone a bit more than I wanted. Originally I said I didn't mind if it went all the way around, but I've got a bit of gold into the top surface, but as it hasn't gone a bit all the way around, and that could be a bit hard to control, I'm just going to knock it back a little bit, have a little bit of a clean. Probably going to need another wipe. I'm sure I've mentioned it on videos before, but these Wonder Wipes, I buy them in great big buckets from Amazon. There's a link below for these in my favourite products list. I find them better than baby wipes for many things, and also the smell doesn't make me heave like baby wipe smell does. So there we go. On the subject of the links for things, you'll probably find you will find right down at the bottom of the video information, you'll see there's a link for my complete product list. It'll never be 100% complete because I'm busy still trying to find things, but as I buy stuff, I'm adding it. I thought it might be a useful reference. If you use that link, it's just in Google Docs. You should all have access to it if you want it, but it's a list of pretty much everything I use. That's the idea. If you notice something that I haven't put on there that you would like to know about, let me know, because it's probably just that I've missed it. There's some gaps still just because I haven't got as far as finding the details, or I can't find them in other countries. So if you happen to find one in America, for example, that's probably the main one because a lot of my viewers are from America, and it's one that I haven't put onto the list, let me know because I'll add it. Just want it to be a useful reference point for everybody. Right then, so what I'm going to do is put these on after these stickers. So I'm going to let all this cure, put these on after, and then do like a very careful flood coat over the top with some thicker resin. This seemed to be the sensible way to do it to me. I don't know whether it really is or not. Anyway, let's put, I'm trying to think what colours are going where. Let's fade inwards. Let's go with our green around the outside. Last little stir here. Because then we'll have a bit of the green show through the gold, possibly. I don't know. Why am I doing this left-handed? I'm really not as left-handed as I would like to be. It's useful being a bit more ambidextrous as a crafter, isn't it? Okay, I'm not worrying that this isn't all going where I intended. It's a bit going splat in the middle, doesn't matter. It's probably going to cover over anyway, the way it's going. Cups I'm using at the moment, by the way, I came by a load of stuff from an event, left over and used but subsequently cleaned disposable cups and plates and things and knives and all sorts. And you know me, I don't like seeing stuff go to waste, and neither did the caterers, thankfully, so I came by all this stuff, which was great. I'm now going to go in with the cream, and what I'm using for this is what I call the billow technique, I think. I don't know whether it'll work with this, but we'll try. What I'm calling the billowing technique is, have you seen the pink coaster video that I did recently with this mould? It's very girly, pink and flowers and stuff. But the pearlescent pigment that I used caused like a billowing effect. And what I'd done was pour it over the coloured, the sort of flat coloured one. And I got this kind of like clouding effect, and it was gorgeous. So that's what we're going to try here. Let's see if this will happen. No, I'll keep that in my hand. Here we are. And this is how I did it. Oh, look, the gold's starting to float. Isn't that nice? So I just went round like this, on top of the colours. And white, even if it's pearlescent, seems to sink. I really didn't think the pearlescent one would, but look, it's gone. It's sunk. Isn't that strange? Now, I haven't put as much of the pigment in it this time as I did with the pink one, because I didn't want to make it over girly looking. So let's just get this last little bit. There we are. So that's that. And then finally the inevitable, dump a load of clear in the middle, just to see what it does as much as anything. So while that's running out, just explain where we go from here then. I am basically just going to let this cure, and so that should be 24 hours, although it is pretty warm here in the UK at the moment. I don't know for how long, but it is. So it should cure probably quicker than that, I'm hoping. I'm doing this now, early morning. What time is it, about 8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock. Still in my pyjamas. I really am. I do craft in my pyjamas. How sad is that? So yeah, I'm thinking by this evening this might actually be ready to demould. And as I said, I shall, once I'm sure it's absolutely cured and we've got a weird greeny, goldy, slightly shimmery, bit of a billowing effect going on, then I'll put the stickers on. And I've got some thicker resin that, I mean, we could use UV resin, of course, to dome off the top, but it would use rather a lot. I've got some very high viscosity 4-hour cure stuff from Just For You online that is pretty amazing. And also, if this might get used as a coaster, it's a very high heat resistance, so it's perfect for coasters. Look at that, I've got my business card from the washi shop all messy. So there we are. I'm going to just walk off and leave this now. I'll let it do what it does. I'm hoping for a bit of like a clear in the middle. Don't know whether I really want to put any glittery stuff or anything like that, because it's not that sort of effect I'm after. I want just making a nice base for these beautiful stickers. So I'll see you in a few hours then, folks. See you later. Well, this is pretty amazing. We are, what is it? About 6 or 7 hours on. This is cured. I've just started loosening the side to make sure. Anyway, let's see what it's done. I will be leaving it just to sit, just to be on the safe side. But you can see the floating gold has floated. The hole in the middle is there. We'll see. Isn't that pretty? And yes, it's kind of billowed. You see what I mean by billowed? You've got this sort of lumpy effect. I think maybe I needed more of the white to really make that work, but that is rather lovely. Now what we're going to do, as I said, I will be leaving it to sit before I try putting anything heavy on it for a while, but we will be putting these stickers on. But look at that pretty edge. Isn't that lovely? Don't know why I hadn't tried that before. So yeah, there we go. Didn't get the full billowing effect, but we did get something approaching it, I think, because it's got that sort of, see what I mean, that sort of lumpy, cloudy effect. Anyway, let's get our stickers back in. And what have we got? Let's have a look. And now I haven't got gloves on, I can do this a tad more easily, hopefully. Because we're going to peel these carefully off. Ooh, it's bringing half the thing with it. So there's our little leafies. I can see there's a bit where I didn't cut it terribly well. Was that when I was trying to swap between the two different cutters? I think it might have been. So what I'm going to do is place these on, and then we can leave it, let it really properly. I'm just a bit concerned because it's cured so quickly. Has it really, if you know what I mean? So what I'll be doing is just leaving it for a little while. There we are. This does pull the back off. Well done, Claire. You were right. Just going to let it sit for a little while, and I think I'm going to do this kind of offset like this. It's not right over the centre. And then I will do, as I said, a light top coat with that other resin. Just to protect it, because that's quick cure resin. It goes up to a really seriously high temperature, so it will be perfect for protecting these and turning it into a coaster. Where's the other ones that I cut off? Here they are. I've made a bit of a dog's dinner of this because of swapping between the different cutting blades. There we are. Isn't that pretty? I might put some more flowers on later. I don't know. Still thinking about it. But I kind of like the half done like that. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, I'll make sure I've got out as much air from under these stickers as I can. Then we'll get that top coat on later. And so I will see you for doing that, just to show you what I do. And then of course we'll get some of the obligatory photos and such done. Okay, I've got some of the Apex one coat mixed up. As usual, I managed to get a few bubbles in it, but yeah, you know, it drops the bubbles fast, so I'm not too concerned. And I'm just using a rubber tipped brush to spread it all over, just to do what this stuff does best, and that's give it that top coat. It should make the colours pop even more as well, but the main thing is it's going to protect those little stickers. So that's all we're doing. All right then. I will see you later to do some photos. If you enjoyed this video, by the way, you know the usual routine. If you'd do give me a thumbs up, that would be amazing. And yeah, I'd appreciate your comments and everything too. It's always nice to read your comments afterwards. I look forward to that bit. I usually get most comments overnight, my night. And then in the morning, it's the first thing I do is get up and have a look and see what comments I've got, and I always reply. If I ever miss one, YouTube reminds me, so you know, I can't forget to reply really, can I? Right then, yep, see you later for the photos, and then I'll see you for my next video. See you all soon, folks. Bye.